Limmy's World of Glasgow. Benjamin.
Not every client that approaches BAM Concepts has a $1 million budget to spend. Some of them actually have quite modest budgets, and perhaps quite surprisingly, we can do something quite effective for them. For example, a Gorbals Leisure Centre got in touch with us and said, we would like you guys to have a look at our brief to promote Gorbals Leisure Centre. We've got up-to-date facilities, it's clean, it's well managed, we have a swimming pool, so on and so forth, but people just read Gorbals and Leisure Centre and they think it's just some local council gym. Consumers would much rather pay an absolute fortune just to go to some gym with a fancy name. We just need something to draw attention to us, they said. I said to the girl on the phone, I can tell you right now what we can do for you. And she said, yeah? I said, BAM! She said, BAM Concepts. This is BAM Concepts. I said, yeah, BAM! By any means necessary. She said, well, whatever you've got in mind, go for it. You're the only company we've got in touch with. We've heard a lot about you. Look forward to seeing what you have in store for us. I had a bit of a brainstorming session, and one of the ideas that came into my mind was, you see all these before and after pictures of someone who was a bit larger before they went into a gym, and they're thin and toned a few months later. I think that's so simple and so effective. So I came up with the idea of getting one of the members of our team to approach a fat person in the Gorbals area and saying, hi, I've got a girl to do it, so it's a real approachable girl. And she said, are you aware of the Gorbals Leisure Centre? I'm promoting this today. He said, no. She said, listen, if you join this gym, we will pay you £10 a week. The guy thought it was some kind of trick to maybe put his name on a mailing list or something like that. She said, no, you will get £10 per week. You will receive £10 a week from the gym if you just attend the gym. Once everything was explained, there's no catches, no hitches, he signed up. Now, when we got the guy's details, we obviously found out where he lived. And this is where the plot thickens. We employed 16 actors, male and female, different ages, races, to every now and again, during a typical day, walk past him in the street, whether it be in a city centre when he's working, or just near his home, say if he goes out to the shops, or on the way to the gym even, and just say something about his weight. Like, you fat cunt. If the guy said, who are you talking to, who you call a fat cunt, we had the actor just keep on walking. We always made sure that the actor tried to disguise his face somewhat, so he kind of waited until he was almost past, walked past the fat guy, and then said it. Otherwise, the fat guy would see him a few days later and would say, I remember you from all day, who you call a fat cunt, etc. Anyway, we had it all worked out. It was kind of like the Truman Show. We had, without him knowing it, people watching him saying, hey, he's coming around the corner, get ready. And then we'd have another person walking past him. As far as he's concerned, it's just a complete stranger, a random opinion. And the person would walk past him and say, oh my God, look at the state of him. Oh my God, he's so fat. God, he's so fat. I'm surprised he's not rolling down the street. Just really derogatory remarks to really make him feel incredibly bad about being overweight. Now the effect that this had was obviously he attended the gym a lot more than what he maybe would have. He probably would have turned up about once a week if he didn't do that. Collected his £10 and would never see him again. He'd probably spend it on Mars bars. But with our campaign, he was spending around 3 hours a night in the gym and really, really going for it. On the weight machines, on the cardiovascular, in the sauna, swimming pool, aerobics, boxercise. You know, this guy was just obviously totally motivated by being told that day he was a fat cunt, he's a fat prick, disgusting, roly-poly. And all the time I was thinking, in about 3 weeks, or a month tops, this guy's going to lose about half his body weight. We're going to have a before shot, we're going to have an after shot, and everyone is going to be saying, oh my god, have you saw the Gorbals Leisure Centre guy who has lost 12 stone in a month. It didn't quite go according to plan though. He didn't attend one day. He just decided to give himself a break. It was a Saturday night after all, but you know, it really stuck in my throat. It really got under my skin. That said to the casting agency who employed the actors, I said, I'm going to need some some youths, some people who are naturally cheeky, full of banter, and we got these 3 teenagers to give him a bit of an earful just outside his home. You know, got him to stop him and say, "Oh my God, look at the state of you! You're so fucking fat. You're disgusting." And we got these guys, these Neds, to give him a bit of a give the guy a bit of a slap. Just slapped him about the face, back of the head, slapped his arse, going, "Oh my God, look at the size of your arse, and you're fucking disgusting. You're horrible. Oh my God, you know all that. You know, you're humabio. You're absolutely revolting." The guy that night, you know, the fat guy, he committed suicide, hanged himself in his own home, which he wouldn't have been able to do, a couple of weeks beforehand. He was so fat, and got in the local news. Wasn't a big story. Guy hangs himself, but it said in the Metro newspaper, free newspaper. It is on every train, on every bus. It's given out in some workplaces. Free newspapers everywhere, huge circulation. It said a tragedy of a man who wrote suicide letter about feeling so overweight, need to lose weight, blah blah blah, hated himself, blah blah blah. Started going to the Gorbals Leisure Centre. That's it was fantastic news when he was approached by Glasgow marketing agency BAM Concepts, and